Hi everybody, welcome back to You Tips for You. I hope you're all enjoying my helpful tips, my other videos, and if you're new to You Tips for You, please check out my other videos by visiting my channel. Today I want to talk to you about making an herbal tea infusion. Infusions are wonderful because it's something that steeps for a very long time or soaks, and you get the maximum amount of vitamins and nutrients out of your herbs when you make an infusion. Now, I'm going to show you one of my favorite infusions to make, which is something that you can only make in the summertime freshly. It starts in about June, and it's called red clover. And if you're familiar with the little white clovers that you see on your lawn that everybody mows down, those are the same clovers that I'm referring to. There's another species called red clovers, and these are even healthier than the white clovers, but if you don't have red clovers near you, you can substitute white clovers as well. So, what I usually do is I take my little Walmart bag or Stop and Shop, and I go and find where they usually bloom, which is along a roadside, in a meadow. You'll see them they need sun, so it's going to be a sunny place. And be careful where you look for them, because you don't want to pick them anywhere where anybody sprays pesticides, because you want your herbal tea to be healthy and natural, and you don't want chemicals in it. So meadows and roadside areas where nobody bothers are places that you'll find them, and you'll find them between early June and probably the beginning of September in most areas. And whenever you see that you don't see your little white clovers anymore, then you know you can't find red clovers. Now, I want to show you what they look like. Okay? This is what a red clover looks like. Notice the little clover leaves. Hopefully you can get close enough with the camera that you can see. It looks almost like the white clover leaves do that you see along the lawn, but then they're much bigger, and they've got a fluffy little top, like a thistly looking top. See? They look like this. And what we're going to do for our infusion, our herbal tea infusion, is we're going to just use the blossom. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're just going to pluck off the blossom like that. And I've already done a bunch of them. See? I have a whole bowl of them right here for our herbal tea infusion that we're going to make. And what you're going to do is you're going to rinse them really well under tap water. I usually fill the bowl and really swish it around, because sometimes they have little ants, little bugs. They're very sweet, and that's what they make clover honey from. They make them from clover blossoms. So the bugs love them, so you want to make sure you clean them up. And you just discard your stems. You just throw them away. They are actually edible. You can use them in salads, but I don't generally do that. There's a lot of things you can just pick in your own nature that you can use in salads and teas. It's a wonderful, healthy, and therapeutic way to enjoy herbs, and these are flowers. You can also pluck the little florets off and put them in salads. If you don't want to just make a tea with them, you can do that as well. And I want to tell you about the benefits of red clover. Red clover is a wonderful hormonal balancing herb. Of course, we're talking about folk medicine here, because these things are never really proven in traditional medicine, but they have gone back for centuries as a wonderful help with PMS, if you have irregular periods, if you have menopausal symptoms, hot flashes. It's also wonderful for infertility if you're having problems conceiving. Red clover has been known to be wonderful for infertility. It's great for your blood. It's a actual blood thinner in some respects. It contains a compound called calmyrin, which is like the calmidin that you hear. That's the medicinal kind. So if you're on calmidin, you may want to avoid red clover because you don't want to thin your blood too much. Again, I'm not sure how much of this that you would have to have in order for these types of medicinal effects to be, so I just have it as a tea for general use for myself, and I find that it's great. And if it helps for PMS, I mean, I think it does. I think it calms you down, it makes you feel better. It also it contains a lot of estrogen-like compounds. So that's why if you're pregnant or nursing, or if you've had breast cancer, or you're in treatment for that, or prostate cancer for men, you might want to just, ask your doctor about it or look into it a little bit more, because they say that with estrogen-dependent cancers, you want to stay away from anything that can promote that, because this is an estrogen-like type herb. I think it's great. It's got cancer-fighting properties to it. It's loaded with calcium. It's great for your bone density, especially for women after menopause. They start to lose bone density. This is a wonderful thing that you can have. And I like having it fresh. I mean, you can buy red clover tea, probably supplements as well, but I like to wait for the spring and summer when I can pick my own out in the garden and I can make my own infusion. It's a lot of fun. It makes me feel closer to nature, and I feel like I'm getting something really healthy and fresh. I'm going to rinse this big bowl here, and then I'm going to proceed with making the herbal tea infusion. Okay, so as you can see, I'm filling up the whole bowl of water, and I'm smushing them around. I have a strainer here, and I just pour it into the strainer so I don't lose any of them in the sink. And then I do it again. I drop them back into the bowl, I turn on the tap water, and I just fill up the bowl, and I smush them around to get all of the little bugs out. The little bugs are going to die anyway, if you get any, when they hit the boiling water when you make your tea. So not to worry if you miss any. So, if you're a real bug adverse person. Okay, so I'm boiling the water here. You'll need a glass jar to put your infusion in after your tea is boiled. And you'll want to store it in there for at least 4 hours to overnight to get the maximum effect of the vitamins. And my recipe also involves putting a teaspoon or so, whatever to your taste, I use about a teaspoon of unprocessed, raw, organic honey. It has the bee pollen, the bee propolis, and the royal jelly in it. I put that in all of my herbal tea infusions and all my herbal teas that I use because it's so natural. So once your tea is boiling, your water is boiling, I've got a quart of water in here, and I, to a quart, am going to use a cup of fresh blossoms. Okay? And all you do is you just put it right into the boiling water. And as soon as you see it start to boil up again, you turn your heat down because it's going to simmer. You need to simmer it for 10 minutes. 10 minutes is important because you want to make sure you break down the cell walls and release all the nutrients. So it's boiling now. I'm going to set it down to simmer. I like to use this little porcelain pot. Don't use an aluminum pot. You don't want aluminum leaching into your specialty, or if you have a teapot, you can use that. And I'm going to put this on 10 minutes. And I'm going to let that boil. Now, at the end of 10 minutes, I'm going to remove my pot from the heat, but I'm going to still let it sit there. And I'm going to take a teaspoon of honey, I'm going to put it right into the hot water, and the whole thing is going to just steep and sit. When it's cool enough, I pour it into my glass jar, and you want to use a glass jar with a lid, and I will let it sit overnight. I like to refrigerate mine, and I wouldn't recommend that you leave it too long because these natural types of infusions, they don't last that long, so you want to use it within a day or two, even if it's refrigerated. And if you want to add a little lemon juice to taste, you can do that. You can also make more. You can double the recipe for 2 quarts, you can quadruple it for a gallon, depending on how many people in your family are going to be drinking it. This is just going to be made for me, and I'll drink it over the course of maybe 2 days. And I do have it frequently throughout the week. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, and that you will give infusions a try. Think of your own herbs. If you want more information on red clover, definitely Google it on websites, or there's plenty out there about red clover. And I think you'll find it very helpful if you have any of the conditions associated with menopause or premenopause that you might find it useful for. So I hope you'll subscribe because I have a lot more to come. Lots of helpful things, lots of tips, and I always welcome your comments. Thanks so much for viewing, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye now.